So let's talk about some of the top winter fragrances for men. These are all fantastic men's fragrances that are absolutely perfect for winter. So what makes a good fragrance for winter? To me, it's pretty much all about the vibe and that it does need to have a bit of warmth and depth to it. I definitely want something warmer, richer and deeper on me when it's colder outside. We have some fantastic affordable winter fragrances for men, some epic niche fragrances for winter, and some absolutely stunning designer fragrances for men that are perfect for winter. Before I begin, a like and subscribe is always appreciated, thank you. And I would also absolutely love to know if you have any favorites for winter, so let me know in the comments. This is my fragrance of the day. It's absolutely perfect for winter, but I'm gonna get to it in a short while. So let's start with a fragrance that is pretty much perfect for winter, and winter time is definitely when I use it the most. This has Parfums de Marly's signature vanilla, but with a twist. So Parfums de Marly Oajan is basically this fantastic, warm, sweet and spicy blend with a prominent and very noticeable intense dose of what I think is a smooth vanilla with the sweetness of honey and an intense dose of cinnamon cutting through, and it does have a bit of a sort of a fruity touch to it as well. I gave Parfums de Marly Oajan a perfect rebel in my review. This to me is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. I know some feel Oajan is extremely close to Kilian Angel's share, and I do agree there are some similarities for sure. However, there are also some clear differences. Angel's share is boozier, and to my nose it's also more sort of a gourmand sweet, and I do feel a clear difference is that it doesn't have the honey that Oajan has. This is so good and absolutely perfect for winter. So next up we have this thing right here, and this is a fragrance that so many of my subscribers have been urging me for years now to try out, and you only had to nag on me for like a couple of years, and I do understand why you like it so much, and this is, at least to me, a perfect winter fragrance. So this is this is gorgeous. This is from Paris Corner, and it's basically vanillic and amber together with what I think is a creamy and mass appealing dose of leather, and the whole thing has quite a spicy warm kick, and it's definitely a bit amber warm. So I know I'm gonna butcher this, but this is rifaaqat. Rifaaqat? I don't know. But regardless of that, this thing smells absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect for winter, and it has intense YSL baby cat vibes. It's not exactly the same, but I do feel it's pretty close, and the performance, at least on my skin, is really good. If you try it out, wait like a minute or two after you spray it on, and you're gonna feel the whole thing get a lot smoother and better. Fantastic alternative to YSL baby cat, and this thing is a wicked compliment for winter. So moving on to what is pretty much a modern classic by now, and I know some feel that Spicebomb Extreme is outdated and boring by now, but I do not agree with that. This is pretty much the perfect winter fragrance. You get a spicy warm kick that sits on top of what I think is quite a sweet dose of vanilla and a mass appealing dose of warm tobacco, and the whole thing, at least to my nose, is a bit ambery. It's spicy kick with cinnamon taking the lead together with its sweetness and that warm tobacco that it has really, at least to my nose, gives off intense winter vibes, and this thing is fantastic compliment. For winter, you really can't go wrong with this. So next up we have this, which I bought not long ago, and this has grown on me quite a bit since I bought it. So this basically opens up with a soft hint of freshness, and then it moves into something that I feel is pretty much dominated by a bit of aromatic freshness thanks to lavender. The opening through to the mids sure smells good, but I do feel that the best part of this is actually the far dry down, where you basically get this warm, woody and a bit smoky scent. So the reason why I'm including Valentino Born in Roma Ivory is not because I feel this is a really rich and warm and deep kind of scent, but more because of the vibe of it. This, the far dry down of Ivory, is woody and warm with a bit of smokiness to it, and the whole thing has a really nice kind of amber warmth and shine to it, and that part is something I feel is pretty much perfect for colder days. Born in Roma Ivory does have sort of a milky or lactonic kind of feel to it, and I do feel that is going to be something that will sort of make it or break it for most people. To my nose, that part smells good. So I believe I bought this about a month or so ago and already had a bunch of compliments while wearing this. The dry down, the far dry down of this is definitely a compliment getting one that I feel is perfect for winter. But here's the thing, if you end up trying Born in Roma Ivory, please do make sure that you wait for the far dry down, because I do feel that's when this thing truly shines. So next up we have another one which I feel is pretty much a modern classic by now. I put it on 4th place in my Armani Stronger With You comparison, which I'm gonna link to somewhere here above and in the description below, so make sure you check that video out. The Armani Stronger With You line has a lot of fragrances I feel are really good for winter, but I do feel this is definitely among some of the top ones that are perfect for winter. Stronger With You Intensely, at least to my nose, pretty much like the original Stronger With You, is built around that sort of a core heart of vanilla and lavender, but to me it's definitely a richer, warmer and sweeter scent. And to me it's intense in the sense that this is a more intensely spicy and sweet version of the OG. A big dose of sweet vanilla, you get a warm spicy kick with cinnamon. The whole thing is definitely a bit ambery and you get a really nice but soft dose of lavender. And Stronger With You Intensely, at least to me, is perfect for winter. And if you care about compliments, then Intensely is definitely a compliment kind of scent. So I think the reason why I enjoy the next one so much is basically because of its gorgeous sort of ambery warmth. Its sweetness is absolutely fantastic. I think it's noticeable, but soft and smooth dose of spiciness is absolutely gorgeous. And the contrast that the lavender brings to the vanilla in Invictus Victory is so good. Invictus Victory is vanillic, definitely quite ambery warm, together with a bit of sweetness. You get a smooth spicy kick and a touch of lavender that sort of helps in bringing a gorgeous contrast to it all. Every single time I reach for it, I'm always reminded of how good it is, and it's actually pretty hard to stay away from it. This, like the Elixir, is a compliment getting kind of scent, and I do feel its ambery warmth and shine, the sweet vanilla and the smooth spiciness it has, it does make this a great choice for winter. So next up we have a fragrance that I once described as best in class sweet tobacco for men. I still feel it's absolutely fantastic, but nowadays this thing definitely faces stiff competition. And I know we already talked about the Viktor Spicebomb Extreme, which is also a sweet tobacco for men, but these two are very different. Tobacco Vanille definitely has a very prominent dose of sweet vanilla together with quite a prominent and very noticeable dose of warm tobacco. It definitely has a very noticeable intense dose of spiciness, but if you compare that spiciness with, let's say, Spicebomb Extreme, I do feel it's quite different. And a clear difference that sets these two apart is that Tobacco Vanille has quite a noticeable dose of fruitiness and a very noticeable sort of a resinous feel to it that really doesn't exist in Extreme. This is allowed definitely an attention-grabbing scent, and on me it projects intensely and lasts a long time, and I do feel Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille is pretty much perfect for winter. This is classy and elegant done in a very attractive way. So next up we have this, which I bought earlier this year, and this to me could almost be described as the sort of a darker, less sweet and more smoky version of the Khamrah. You get a lot of spicy warmth together with warm tobacco and what I think is a sort of a gourmand-like kind of sweetness. And there's something in here that in a way gives me Armani Stronger With You vibe. So something from that line. I'm not sure if it's the vanilla or what it is, but there's something in here that has a soft Stronger With You vibe. So Lattafa Khamrah Dukhan is to me basically quite a spicy and warm scent with a gourmand-like kind of sweetness and warm tobacco. And the whole thing is definitely quite intensely ambery, but at the same time quite smooth and balsamic. This has grown on me a lot the more I've used it, and I do feel this is a really, really nice, affordable scent that's perfect for winter. And if you're looking for a more masculine and sort of a darker version of Lattafa Khamrah with great performance that has a prominent dose of warm tobacco, then make sure you check it out. So next up is a fragrance my subscribers are probably not surprised to see on this list. I absolutely love it. This is one of my fragrances for life, and even though I use it throughout the year, it is perfect for colder days. So when you spray it on, you get this intense, loud, in your face, very noticeable dose of what I think is best in class epic powderiness together with a bit of woodiness. It is pretty much impossible to not notice Dior Homme Intense pretty much every single time I spray it on. Someone picks up on it and gives me a comment. I have so many fun and crazy fragrance stories that this one is behind. I absolutely love Dior Homme Intense, and if you love powdery fragrances and want a fantastic one for colder days, then you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. Now pretty much every time I talk about Dior Homme Intense, I get a question about the new Dior Homme Parfum 2025. I recently did my final review of Dior Homme Parfum 2025. I'm gonna link to it somewhere here above and in the description below. Dior Homme Parfum 2025 is definitely not as epic as this thing right here. So next up we have this thing right here, and this is absolutely gorgeous for like 20 bucks. I've had this for quite a while, but I wanted to wait and let it sort of macerate for a while before doing a review. But this is basically Haramain's Parfums de Marly's Latent exclusive. Are they exactly the same? No, but this definitely has Parfums de Marly exclusive vibes, but I do not think that matters because this on its own is a fantastic fragrance. You do get the almond vanilla powderness and woodness from the original, even though that smells a bit different in here. The almond was one of the main reasons why I bought Haramain Detour Noir Intense, and if you compare the almond in here to the whole L'Homme line, the almond in that line, and the OG Pegasus, then to my nose the almond in this is not as sort of intensely almondy and a bit sort of a softer. So basically this is a powdered vanilla that's spicy and woody with almond. On my skin this is quite a rich, warm, and actually quite a complex kind of scent that I definitely feel leans more towards colder days. So from one Uomo focus scent to another, these two however are very different. This has that fantastic signature L'Homme almond note, but in a blend that to my nose is more intensely sweet and more intensely warm, thanks to the sweetness of plum, warm tobacco, and what I think is quite a smooth and creamy dose of leather. That signature L'Homme almond is still quite prominent, but it is pushed a bit into the background in the extreme to give room for its sweetness, that warm tobacco, a bit of spiciness, and leather. This is so attractive, so unique, an epic head turner. Pretty much the whole line is a very unique line, and for some reason a line that it seems a lot of guys have not yet tried. But with that said, I do feel L'Homme Extreme is an absolutely stunning scent that's perfect for winter if you love the scent of almond. So next up we have this, and this on my skin is quite intensely ambery warm. So this has quite a noticeable dose of ambery warmth and shine, and it has quite a prominent dose of leather. However, that leather, at least to my nose, is more of a mass appealing kind of leather. The leather here in a way sort of reminds me of the leather in the epic Compliment Tom Ford or the ombre leather. This is not quite as mass appealing, but it does sort of go in that direction. You have a spicy kick with saffron and a bit of sweetness that's balanced up with a bit of aromatic freshness. So ambery and spicy, smoothly and almost creamy leathery, with a bit of sweetness and a bit of contrast thanks to lavender. This line is so expensive, but this is one of few that I absolutely had to buy. If you're looking for a smooth, head-turning, leather-focused scent that I do feel is pretty much perfect for colder days, then make sure you check out 6+ scent Sulpice from YSL. Do not blind buy this thing right here because it is quite expensive, but I do recommend it if you enjoy smooth leather-focused scents. Make sure you check out my other fragrance videos over there, and make sure you drop some of your absolute favorite fragrances for winter in the comments.